You're listening to the Q Points podcast where hip hop lives, breathes, and booms. I'm DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J Ray, sometimes known by my governments as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. And Sir Daniel, one of the things that was really important, something really important happened in hip hop history in 1995, which is also the year I graduated from high school. Just saying.
You just had to rub that in. It's
Right.
okay. I graduated 2 years earlier, but still, let's take it back to August 1995, J Ray, at the Paramount Theater at Madison Square Garden. J Ray, we're talking about the 1995 Source Awards. Now, J Ray, the Source Awards is a major magazine for hip hop at this point.
Yeah, so this is an interesting time. The Source, to your point, is the Bible of hip hop.
Yes.
It's helped us to discover so many artists, but this particular year was really pivotal. So this is the second year of the Source Awards. Mm-hmm. Hip hop is basically bi-coastal, right? The way that people viewed hip hop is you viewed it from the perspective of New York and Los Angeles, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of the lens that we were in. But this particular year, for August, tensions were really, really high because by this point, a lot of things have happened. Tupac has been shot. Tupac is at this moment in prison because he's been convicted for sexual assault. But there is this brewing tension, this East Coast, West Coast tension that's happening. And the Source Awards are the place where it kind of boils over.
It comes to a raging boil, and it's palpable.
Yes.
You can hear it. You can see it. The tension, you can see it in people's faces, the way that based on the way who they're sitting next to, who they're sitting behind, who they're sitting in front of. It's kind of a cluster. But I don't know, but it also is a moment where history is being changed specifically for a group that the world is very proud of, and the world has celebrated time and time again, and they are about to become the choice for new artists of the year. And so, J Ray, I think we just can't. We represent for Atlanta right now. We're here at the Banjee Boombox, straight here in the ATL. And well, for the people that are listening right now, walking around and listening to us, let's briefly describe to them exactly what the New Artist of the Year award consists of and who is actually being nominated this year in 1995.
Yeah, so there was a couple New Artist Awards for the Source Awards that year. This one was the one that caused a lot of attention was the Group Award. So this particular award was for Group. Mm-hmm. There were 4 nominees, which actually says a lot about where hip hop was in this moment. So nominated in this particular moment was Bone Thugs and Harmony out of Cleveland, but closely affiliated with California,
because of
Ruthless Records and Eazy-E.
There you go. Right.
So,
okay.
Outkast, straight out of Atlanta.
Straight out of the A.
Yep.
And really with no affiliation because they're from the A. They're just there doing their thing.
Yep.
And next up, we got Ill and Al Scratch. And you real hip hop heads, you know who Ill and Al Scratch
know who Ill and Al Scratch.
Where my homies.
Right. And last but not least, of course, nominated in this category was Smith & Wesson, Boot Camp Click, The Shining, one of my favorite albums from that whole run of albums.
You talk about New York?
You know what I mean? So,
Brooklyn?
Sir Daniel, you know what I mean? Yeah. Set up, though, who's like presenting this award?
Who's presenting the awards? Okay.
And how this thing went down, okay?
So, and it's so funny because the winners of the award and the presenters of the award are actually about to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year.
Yep.
So like Jerry said, let me set the scene. Presenting the nominations and the award for Best New Artist of the Year group is none other than Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella and their homeboy,
Kid from Kid and Play.
Exactly. And so, Salt and Pepper, they, at this point, Salt and Pepper are relishing in the fact that, they're very necessary.
Yes.
People are shopping and they've gone multi-platinum. They got some coins. They've got this crazy new record deal. Well,
Yep.
so what happened with that? But they're on top of the world and they're feeling themselves. So they're reading off the nominations: Bone Thugs and Harmony, Outkast, Ill and Out, Scratch, Smith and Wesson. And then the pivotal point of the evening, they read off the name of the actual winners, and you think that Salt and Pepper would just like fake it till they make it. Nah.
No.
They gave the most lackluster, and the winner is
Outkast. The looks.
And they used the tiniest fingers to clap. Just no way of shielding their disgust for like, who is these country bumpkins?
Yeah.
Who are they? Boot Camp Clickers from Brooklyn,
right?
Ill and Out Scratches from New York.
Yep.
We represent New York. And that's that. That shows how deep the riff was. The regional riffs were between artists from different parts of the country in that moment. Yes. And so for Salt and Pepper, who are pretty well respected at this point, that was such a thing. That was a big deal for them to carry on in that manner. And Andre, of course, has been observing what's happening.
Yes. The energy
between the East and the West Coast. And it's like, you know what? In this moment, he's happy to accept this award because they worked really hard. But he said something, it's a quotable to this day. This is the moment 30 years ago, August 1995, Andre 3000 proclaims in his best Southside voice, the South got something to say. Yes. And J-Ray, like, can you tell the people what the reactions were at that moment?
The reactions were, well, so here's the thing. So to that point, right, the setup was people didn't know I don't think people really knew what to think at that moment, right? 2 out of the 4 nominees are not from New York, right? New York has been lifted up as kind of the center of gravity as it relates to hip hop. And the fact that this group, who was really new, right? They didn't show up until a year before from this place called Atlanta.
But Outkast, to your point, was rapping.
They were rapping.
All about bars.
They were about bars, and they were from Atlanta. And they sounded like they were from Atlanta, and their sound was unique and from Atlanta. Right. So in the room, the reason why Andre says this thing is, of course, they can feel the tension. One, the people that were presenting them the award didn't even care that they won. The people that were in the room didn't care that they won. And it was just like, yo, he was really looking them in their face and like, yo, we are here and the South got something to say. And he couldn't have been more right. What's up, y'all? So this is not the end of this conversation. Me and DJ Sir Daniel, we have so much more to talk about.
The juiciest part of this conversation is on the other side. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come back by the table and talk to your boys. You're going to have to talk to us. You're going to have to scan that QR code so you can hear the rest of this conversation. Because the really iconic moment of the 1995 Source Awards, oh, we're going to talk about that. You thought Outkast was it? Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
See y'all over at the table, y'all. Peace.